University rankings, friends. Hey everyone, Billy Jack here, coming at you from the tallest residential tower here in Brisbane town, looking down at you fine folks as you scurry off to work, and to the universities too, wearing your fancy breeches and whatnot. Well, a few days ago, the university rankings came out, and these are the ones from a body known as, I can't remember, but y'all know the one, higher education. I know what it is now. It's the Times Higher Education. And the Times is a English newspaper from London. Now, as I recall, people are bellyaching because the Australian universities ain't doing so good now like they were last year. Who believes this horse shit? Honestly. Personally, I think they're horseshit, but I could be wrong. Who believes it? Here's why I think it's wrong. Take it with a grain of salt, make up your own mind. Hide behind their little statistics, defending their case about which university's better than that. I don't know, friends. When them fine folks back in the day were choosing the moon astronauts, and I remember them days well, friends, you really think they took a look at the rankings of the universities and said, hey, you didn't go to the university that I think is number one in the rankings, therefore you can't be a moon astronaut? Now, a lot of those guys actually did go to college. Some of them didn't, and they did a good job up there in the moon and coming back. That's one hell of a commute. I doubt whether any of those guys doing the rankings could ever do that and survive. But those guys, a lot of them studied things like engineering and aeronautical stuff, right? Because that's important. You need to know your fundamental physics when you're up there, hurtling through space at 300 miles an hour or more as you fly into the moon. 300,000 more like it. Now, you really think that the guys who went to the moon were incompetent? They got stuff done. And I'll tell you something, they were trained by guys who probably didn't even go to college. People who had flown combat jets and test pilot planes throughout the whole prop and jet era, from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. None of those guys went to college. You really think these rankings mean anything? Here are the conspiracy theories I'm hearing around the internet. The Times is based in London, England. In the rankings, Harvard and Oxford are tied at number 2. Damn straight, that's what it says. What kind of horseshit is that, friends? Why is it that Oxford and Cambridge always do so damn good up there at the top of them rankings? Why are you even reading it in the English newspaper, friends? Don't y'all know that it's akin to reading off someone else's song sheet? It ain't relevant to you here in Brisbane town. It ain't relevant to no one except them people in England and London town. Did any of those moon astronauts go to Oxford and Cambridge? No, they did not. So what the hell are they doing up there at the top? I'll tell you something, friends. Hundreds of thousands of people, men and women, were trained at tech colleges, grade schools, and minor colleges that don't even make the rankings. Many of them were trained at colleges just like the RMIT in Melbourne, the UTS in Sydney, and the QUT in Brisbane town of today. But back when they weren't even universities. MIT ain't a university. QIT never used to be a university. Suddenly, when it became a QUT, do you think people suddenly got better because of that? No. No one cares about this horse shit, and no one cares about the rankings. People care about what people can do. And I think these rankings have got far too many emphasis on what people know. Knowledge ain't important. Being able to do something is just as, or if not more important. And that's why I think these rankings ain't right, friends. I don't think they're right. Are they looking at how the graduates are doing to fill the needs of industry and the community generally? Don't y'all think that's just as important as these fancy rankings? The rankings don't even have a lot of American universities in them. When you compare it with, for example, the ARWU, the Academic Ranking of World Universities, another indice or index or whatever they call it. Why does the Times ranking have a lot more British universities than the ARWU? Oxford died with Harvard? Are you serious? I'll tell you something, as I understand it from people. Harvard beats the crap out of Oxford in every respect, including being able to see the world for what it is and not being in some small, impoverished, backward island that still thinks it's the year 1900 and the Queen rules the world. That's the problem with the mentality you get when you're reading something authored by someone living in London town, friends. And I think those rankings ain't worth nothing, but that's just my opinion. Take them as you will. Maybe they're worth a lot. What do you think, friends? Please let Billy Jack know your thoughts below. Please rate, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you found this useful or helpful. Yeah. University ranking. Should Australian universities be worried that we're not doing so good? Tell Billy Jack the truth below. Bye for now.